Hi, everybody. So this guide is going to go over how to use the token lock contracts in order to be a delegator in the Graph network. So there's another video on how to be an indexer. The first half of these videos will overlap a lot, but at the end of the video, it describes specifically how to be a delegator through the token lock contracts. So what the token lock contracts are, they are contracts that are launched at the beginning of the network going live that actually store tokens that are locked for individuals who have graph tokens in the network. What we've actually done with these token lock contracts is we've made it possible to interact with the graph protocol network contract. So that's all they can do. These tokens are essentially locked, but you can stake them to be an indexer in the protocol or delegate them to an indexer in the protocol. So it's a setup so that some people might have their tokens locked for a year, but they still want to be able to use them in the protocol while they're locked. So we allow them to actually earn rewards by being an indexer, by being a delegator, and it's really good setup that we have going. And basically, this guide will explain how to use these contracts. So another thing to mention is basically the underlying function of this smart contract, the token lock contract, is just a time lock release of funds. And so we have all the relevant read-only and write functions here if you just want to understand the time lock. And this will tell you how much money you have managed, when the periods end, when each period will release more graph tokens. And you can actually view all these as well in the token distribution subgraph, which is shared in this guide, in this document. And as you can see, here I'm just querying by my beneficiary address, which is my Ethereum address. And I get all this information, which is very similar to the information here. A really important note here is the release function. So that's what you call when your tokens are finally unlocked, and it'll take all your tokens into your own Ethereum account. And then you can do whatever you like with them. So that's something you will have to call at some point whenever your tokens release. And then so we're going to get a little bit more into what it's like to be a delegator. So we have this section. This table describes functions that allow you to interact with the protocol. These are the only functions that can be done with this token lock contract. And we'll go over these specifically for delegators later on in this video, but it's good to read all of these and understand what the functionalities are of the token lock contract. So these are all important. Withdrawing as well, and withdrawing surplus, these are important things to read about, and we'll get into that a little bit, the surplus topic right now. Basically, if you have 100,000 graph tokens and you stake them as an indexer or delegate them, and you make a profit of say 10,000, and you withdraw those tokens, you'll have 10,000 tokens in surplus. And we actually allow you to withdraw those tokens to your Ethereum address immediately. So what it means is any rewards you make in the Graph network are yours and unlocked. It's only the original amount of tokens that are placed in the token lock contract that stay locked until the time lock has reached its release time. So that's a primer on how the token lock wallets work. And now we're going to get into how you can actually interact with them on chain. So at network launch, the Graph is not providing a UI to the token contracts, but we will be providing the ABI and a list of tools that you can interact with them, with the contracts. So everybody has their own token lock contract, and you will be able to get that address, and then you will take the ABI, and we recommend that you actually go to Remix. It's a very popular Ethereum app that allows you to interact with contracts on chain, and it's actually very straightforward. And in the near future, we will have a Graph UI that allows you to do all this stuff. But for now, this is what you would use if you want to get involved in the network right away from day one. And so, an important part to realize here is, there's a couple of subgraphs we're going to have to look at. There's Remix that we're going to have to look at, and there's the ABI that we're going to have to look at. And the ABI is right here. So this we will come back to in a second. We're going to skip this section of the guide, how to be an indexer in the protocol. There's another video for that. You can watch that if you would like to be an indexer. And we'll go down to how to be a delegator in the protocol. So this section, it starts off, basically what you want to do is you want to copy this query and go to the token distribution subgraph, which we have a link right here and we share it above as well. And you paste it in here and you add your Ethereum address, and it'll pop up the token lock wallets that are available with your Ethereum address. Now, it is also possible you might have two different token lock wallets assigned to you if you had two different release schedules to your name and you provided the same Ethereum address. So that's a good thing to note. And this will provide you with a ton of information. Now, something that's important is the ID here. This is the actual contract address of your token lock wallet. And we'll be using that in a second on Remix. What's important right now is to go to the ABI that we opened before. Copy it over and let's go to Remix. And we'll start with a new file, tokenlockwallet.abi. You just paste that in there. So now we have the ABI file ready. Go here, make sure that you are doing injected Web3 and you are on Ethereum mainnet. In my case, I am on the Rinkeby test network. And you take that address from the subgraph. This is your token lock wallet. Paste it in there. You have the ABI set up here and you just click at address. And it's basically allowing you to interact with this contract on chain, setting it up. Let's open that up. And we see here, there's a lot of different functions here. So the blue ones are read-only functions. You'll be able to call these and read data off the smart contract. As you can see, this is my Ethereum address. So it is a contract that belongs to me. And all the blue ones are read-only, all the orange ones are write. So those will cost gas. That's pretty straightforward, easy to understand. So let's get into the guide now. We have done these two steps now. We've set all that up. Now we need to call approve protocol to approve the protocol contracts to pull tokens from the token lock contract. So this is just simply the normal approve function that you do with any ERC20 token that allows a smart contract to pull the tokens from you. So let's do it. Approve protocol. MetaMask opens up. I click it. We see it down here. We're going to see that check mark come up. Let's go back to the guide for now. And now we can call delegate. So we can delegate to an indexer. Now, this is an interesting topic to point out. It's important that you already have an indexer's address handy that you want to delegate to, and the amount of tokens you want to delegate to them. And it's worthwhile for you to find an indexer that you think you will earn a good amount of rewards from. So I actually have one set up already. I'll take this indexer address, and this is a different subgraph. We have two subgraphs you're going to interact with. This is the mainnet smart contract subgraph, and we'll look at that in a bit, but I'm just copying this value over. So the approve protocol function has been successful. We're going to go into delegate. I'm going to copy that indexer address. Let's do 1,000 tokens. Now in Remix, we're going to have to add 18 zeros to account for the fact that the graph token has 18 decimals. So let's do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, let's transact this. And MetaMask opens up and I go and confirm it. So that should be approved. And now you're delegating the protocol and you're earning rewards. So now somebody might ask, well, now I want to undelegate and claim my rewards. One good thing to remember is that you must wait for the delegation unbonding period before you can actually get those tokens out of the protocol. And that period is 28 days. So you should choose your indexers wisely, because if you choose one that ends up not giving you a lot of rewards, you're going to have to undelegate from them and you're going to have to wait 28 days where you're earning no rewards. So make sure you do your research and decide which indexer is worthwhile to delegate to. And at that point, once you get that set up, you'll be earning rewards maybe for a few months, and then you might want to undelegate because you want to do something else with your tokens. And so in this scenario, you're actually going to have to undelegate the amount of shares that are in that you have. They're called delegation shares. It's a quirk of the smart contracts that you don't actually undelegate an amount of tokens. You pass a share value, and when the graph UI is set up, it'll make this a little more streamlined. But for now, if you end up undelegating in the first kind of couple days of the network, what you do is you go to the mainnet subgraph, which we have linked here, and you do this query, your token lock wallet, not your normal Ethereum address. And you'll find the ID is your address combined with the indexer's address, and we find the share amount. So those 1,000 tokens we deposited gave us this number right here. So we're gonna undelegate that amount on Remix. So we go here, we take the share. So I'm undelegating 100% basically. We use the indexer address again, we copy that, we transact, and MetaMask pops up. And we undelegate, and that will be successful as well. So at this point now we are in the undelegation or the unbonding period for delegation, and we're gonna have to wait 28 days before we can call withdraw delegated. So in this scenario, we would go, say we waited 28 days, we go and call withdraw delegated. You pass the indexer address again. And then this delegate to indexer section, you would pass the new indexer's address that you want to delegate to in here, and it would delegate directly to them. Or you could pass the 0 address, and that will actually withdraw it to your own account. So that's how delegation works in full. Another thing to note is if you earn some surplus tokens there when you actually withdraw delegated, and you maybe earned 1,000 graph tokens in surplus, you would be able to withdraw the surplus by finding your surplus amount, clicking it there, and then just copying that value into here and transacting on there. And that is how delegation works in full. And thank you for watching this video, and hopefully you get involved in the network soon. Thanks.